Hello, I'm Paris Monroe and this is The Paris Show. On this episode, we've got a great guest, especially if you are a petrol head and you love motorcycles and you're queer. We have Kevin Baisley, the chair of the UK's and Europe's largest LGBTQ+/queer/gay motorcycle club, and we're going to get into something really special about fighting with pride. Kevin Baisley joins us to talk all about the LGBTQ+ motorbike club. Of course, he is the chair. This was founded back in 1977 and today is considered the UK and Europe's largest gay/LGBTQ+ motorbike club. Kevin, this is an incredible thing. And what an amazing club to be part of as well. Tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, I mean, it is an incredible club. As you say, founded in 1977 by a small group of bikers, mainly based in London, who just realised that they had this shared passion in motorcycling, but they also wanted a space where they could be themselves. So obviously it was not too long after the Sexual Offences Act coming out and allowing us to be gay openly and legally. And so they wanted that safe space where they could be bikers, but also recognise and be comfortable that they were gay as well. And that's the seed of where the Gay Bikers Motorcycle Club came from. And it's developed over the last nearly 50 years now.
Wow.
And
that's incredible. That's amazing.
It is. I mean, to still be going strong after all these years, a growing membership all the time. We've got about over 500 members all around the country, some across Europe as well.
Wow. Overseas?
A couple of overseas members, but there are overseas clubs of their own.
I see.
And we join with them quite regularly. So, yeah, it's a great club to be in.
I'm actually part of this club also.
Fantastic.
I am a baby on the road, so very, very new experience. You know, I'm on a 125cc, so it's a little bike. And I do have my L plates still at the moment.
Yep.
So I've got a lot of learning to do. But what I love about the space that's created here with this club is that when you were talking about being like your true authentic self and not have to worry about some straight people who would be taking the mick out of you or having to worry about coming out. It's like we can just be free and just enjoy what we love, and that's being on the road with each other.
Yeah, I mean, the club is fully inclusive. The only requirement actually is that you have to own and ride your own motorcycle. And you don't even have to be part of the LGBTQ+ community. We are very welcoming of allies as well. In fact, our Northwest regional leader is a lovely lady called Lynn, and she's one of our straight allies and leads this area really, really well. And that's what it is. It's about welcoming people. I mean, the club name does these days get some attention. Oh, you're just gay bikers, i.e. it's just for gay men. But actually, that came from the 70s when gay was more about good as you, and that's what it stood for. And it was that welcoming backronym, I think is the proper term for it, that meant it was for the entire community. And so we have gay male members, of course we do. We have lesbian members, we have trans members, we have straight allies. You know, everybody is welcome because it's about a community of bikers who happen to be also in the LGBTQ+ community.
I like that you said who happen to be, because it's not like the focus. Like it's like you are more than your sexuality. You know, you are more than just being on the road. But it's like that collective interest of we all love the same thing. Let's continue doing this together with, you know, showing support to one another. And being trans and non-binary, there's always that hesitance of, oh, what if, and tend to worry about all sorts of things. But what I've actually noticed is that there's a WhatsApp group. There's like a members area once you're a member. There's so many different resources. There's events that you do. I love that you've got different WhatsApp groups in the group. So you've got like the banter one, you've got like the technical one, and all this. So it feels like there's a lot of help and a lot of opportunity to make friends.
Definitely. I mean, we are a community for our community. Yes, we want to bring bikers on. So people like yourself, it's great to have learners in the club because it's very, we are very clear that GBMCC is not a hookup club.
Just so you know, for watching. Just so you know. But yeah, there's, in case there was any, miscommunication, if somebody had mentioned this group to you, at least now you know, you can make friends. But it's not that kind of. Yeah. It's not that kind of space here.
Exactly. Yeah. That's not what the club is about. We're adults, of course. Relationships happen because you meet people, and obviously they have similar interests. So of course, things can happen.
Yeah.
But that's not what the club is about, and it is about that safe space to go riding with friends and to feel comfortable riding with friends, being your true self with those friends. And that means you get to go away weekends, just day rides out for a bit of fun on a nice sunny day, even longer trips. You won't have been able to experience them yet as a newish rider, but we have week-long events, summer camps, we have longer weekends. So all of these things.
Little trips, little holidays.
Yeah, little holidays. They're really good. I mean, the summer camps are incredible. We've just had one in Germany, so we share that with our European bike clubs as well. So we get sort of 200 gay bikers descending on some little location anywhere around Europe.
That sounds like my kind of thing. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's riding most days of that week.
Yeah.
Lots of really well organised tours out to scenic areas and great routes in the area, and then you've got that social atmosphere in the evening as well. You're with friends, and you get to meet new people from all over Europe, and it really is fantastic. And like I say, that just sort of hops around from one country to the other every year. Next year we're in northern France, and the year after that, actually, our summer camp is here in the UK.
This is so cool, and it doesn't matter whether you are, 1 month into riding, whether you're 10 years into riding, 50 years, 20, you welcome everybody.
Yeah, it's all levels of experience. As I say, learner riders are welcome. Obviously, there might be some limits on the runs that they can attend, but they're welcome. And you are part of the club as much as anybody else who's been riding, like myself, 30 years or whatever. Because the important thing about riding is that we are always learning. Any biker who says they know it all, they're probably not quite telling the truth. We've all got something to learn when we're riding, and the important thing about a club like ours is we can share some of that experience. So we've got people who are advanced motorists, Institute Advanced Motorists, ROSPA safety riders and that kind of thing.
Wow.
And they will quite happily give newer members feedback as well. So if you ask them...
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Definitely what I need. I will take notes after this.
Yeah.
Trust me. Yeah, no, that's amazing.
Yeah, and they'll do it in that friendly fashion. It's not about picking holes in your riding. It's suggesting how you might be able to do something better, how you might be able to anticipate a corner better, those kind of things. And they'll do that as a friend.
And how to be safer as well, which is so important, because when it comes to actually like being on the road, I was taught only like a few months ago, but I was taught, you have to think all the vehicles are out to get you, which actually sounds quite scary, but also it's being aware of your surroundings even more so, because you're more vulnerable, right?
Very much so. I mean, you are very exposed on a motorcycle, and it doesn't matter how skilled you are. If there is another motorist out there who's being stupid and you don't anticipate what they're doing, you could come a cropper. And, we always advise people, any ride that you go on, doesn't matter who else is in that ride with you, and we can have groups of sort of 10, 15 bikers going out together. You ride your ride to your level of ability.
Yes.
Because that's where you're safe. Hopefully the other riders in the group may encourage you by giving you tips on how to become more comfortable and more confident. But ultimately, the recognition is there that it's your ride.
Yeah.
You ride it to your level of comfort. And if you ask for advice on how to become more comfortable in a different situation, then someone will give it to you in a friendly and helpful fashion.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin Baisley, thank you so much for joining us. And what an iconic chair you are as well of UK's and Europe's largest gay, queer, LGBTQ plus motorcycle club, which is exactly what we need. We need that space. So appreciate you joining us on the show.
That's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We've got a little break and then I'll see you in a few. Hi, welcome back to The Paris Show. Of course, joined by Kevin Baisley, the current chair, the current icon, of course, I would safely say.
Thank you very much.
From the UK and Europe's largest gay, queer, LGBTQ plus motorcycle club. It's a very, very, very cool club that you have. So feel free to go and check out the website, go and check out the socials as well. We'll put them just here so you can see. You're also here to talk about something extremely important as well. Please tell us all about Fighting with Pride and why you are working alongside them. Yeah,
so I'm a veteran. I served in the Royal Air Force from 1985 through to 1995. I know I don't look that old. Please tell me I don't look that old.
You look like 18. I'm just going to say.
Thank you very much. I like you. Or you can stay in the club.
I want the number. Give me the number.
So I was thrown out of the Royal Air Force in 1995 as part of the UK Armed Forces ban.
Right.
And so I lost my career. Effectively, I was made homeless overnight. Lost my income. Lost everything that I had worked for my entire life. I was lucky that I managed to retrain. I became an accountant. Sorry. Someone has to do it.
Someone has to do the numbers, but do you know what? Respect.
Yeah. But in the last few years, last 3 or 4 years, I've become involved with the LGBTQ plus Armed Forces charity Fighting with Pride. Right. And, you know, it's an incredible charity that was set up to recognise the fact that the ban was lifted in January 12th of 2000, but nothing was really done for those veterans who were impacted by the ban. And in 2020, Craig Jones, Caroline Page, and a few others wrote a book called Fighting with Pride. And as part of that book, they published some of the stories of veterans who had been impacted by the ban. But then they started talking and realised that there hadn't been anything, any form of recognition, any apology for those veterans.
Not even an apology.
Not even an apology, no. And so they set up the charity with its aims to get that apology, to get recognition for those veterans.
Yeah.
And that was commissioned and started in 2022 with Lord Etherton, the late Lord Etherton, as the chair. And he did this incredible job of collating evidence from over 1,100 people who submitted their personal testimonies. Really quite harrowing. It's a lot of people, some really harrowing stories of assaults, abuse, arrest, imprisonment, all of those kind of things, some really harrowing stories.
This is heartbreaking.
It is. I mean, there are people who are still recovering from the damage that was done to them. And that report was published in 2023 with 49 recommendations, the first of which, very importantly, was an apology from the state to those veterans. And Rishi Sunak, the then Prime Minister, made that apology at the start of PMQs from the House of Commons on July 19th, 2023, and I was there to witness that. And it was an incredibly emotional day. And that started a whole heap of other those recommendations, which are now all delivered or in the process of final delivery, and it included things like returning people's berets, their medals that had been literally ripped off them in some cases, that dignity that they'd lost was being returned to them with apologies. So they got a copy of that apology from Rishi Sunak. They got a personal letter of apology from service chiefs. That process is still ongoing. People are still going through that.
My heart hurts hearing this.
Yeah, and they've been really emotional experiences. We received a lapel pin called the Atherton pin after Lord Atherton, which reflects the colours of the armed services with a rainbow flag and the letters Pride and Justice written on them.
Wow.
And it's an incredible pin that people wear with a lot of pride. And there are also financial recognition scheme that is ongoing. It is a short window of time that is left for people to apply for that. And so that's one of the things we need to do, is to reach as many LGBTQ plus veterans who were impacted by the ban to apply for those financial recognition payments. We only have until December the 12th of 2026 to
That's
apply
not a long
for.
time.
Not long left. No, it's been open about a year. So we really need to reach those veterans, and if anybody is only hearing about these for the first time, and we are still getting people coming through on a weekly basis saying they've not heard of any of this process, then what I would say to them is reach out to fightingwithpride.org.uk, and you will find how to apply for that, and you will get support to apply for that. And those, they're not huge payments. Unfortunately, it's not a compensation scheme.
Yeah.
But it's something to assist people and to recognise the suffering they had. But one of the other recommendations that was part of that I've been very much involved in the last year, just over a year, is a memorial, the LGBT Armed Forces Community Memorial, that was dedicated back in October of 2025, at a really emotional, powerful and quite historic dedication event. And this beautiful piece of sculpture that is dedicated to LGBT plus veterans, current armed forces, and as an inspirational piece to future serving LGBT armed forces personnel.
I'm getting goosebumps all over my body just hearing you talk.
When you get a chance, go to the Arboretum and see it. It really is a beautiful piece. Some really powerful words that were taken from the submissions from veterans that we did in a consultation that came up with a design brief. Wow. And it symbolises a letter to a loved one in the armed forces that potentially was found during a search, used as evidence against them to get them dismissed, thrown up and thrown away, and then has been opened, and it's, the inside is very dark to reflect that dark time when people were banned, but the outside is this brightly polished, highly polished finish, bright for the future. And that's what it's intended to be. It's it is recognising that pain and suffering from the past, but it's also hope, pride, and that sense of service that people who join the armed forces have. And hopefully an inspirational piece for people who want to serve in the future, to see that, yes, there has been pain, but lessons have been learned. And now, you know, the UK Armed Forces are, I think, recognised as some of the best employers for LGBTQ plus in the UK. They're regularly up there in the rankings. So But
do you know what? The world is blessed to have LGBTQ plus folks.
Indeed.
I'm just saying this right now. Just hearing you talk so passionately about Fighting with Pride, is there any kind of support that Fighting with Pride tend to do? Is it like do you have like meetings or anything like this, or have like resources where people can go to for extra help or support?
Yeah, so we have a team of what we call veteran community workers. So they are nationwide. There's one for each of the main regions around the country. We organise community cafes that people can go to. They're both in person, virtual. We go to Pride events.
I love this.
We're really well connected with the active service LGBTQ plus networks as well now. So we organise events, joint events with current serving personnel.
Amazing.
So we've had dining in nights in the RAF Cosford Museum was a great dining in night last year. We've had dining in night on board HMS Victory. So there's all sorts of things like that to bring our veterans back into the community, because many of those veterans, they lost their community when they were dismissed.
They lost a lot.
They lost a lot of things.
Yeah.
But for people who are in the service, community is so important. You know, that camaraderie of serving together, and they lost that. And they didn't want anything to do with the armed forces for many, many years because of the traumatic incidents and events that occurred to them. They weren't supported by the military charities for many of those years, who really didn't recognise LGBTQ+ veterans. They are very much on board now, I have to say. You know, all of the big charities were actually part of the founding partners for Fighting with Pride, so they provided the funding. But yeah, those veteran community workers pull people together. We try to organise community events, and like I say, just to get that engagement.
I really love that.
And it's so important, because they lost that identity, and now they are proud to call themselves veterans again, and that's what's really important.
Yeah, and reclaiming that power, which I think is so, so important. And do you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure. We've run out of time. I wanted to chat to you all day about this, because we're learning something so incredibly important here. But Kevin, it's been a real honour to have you in the studio and talk all about previously motorbikes and the club as well, which the details are all here on screen, as well as Fighting with Pride as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you very much for having me on. It's been a real pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
And thank you as well for watching. This is The Paris Show, and we'll see you again soon.